This was in like half of my glove box. I mean, not half, but probably. The biggest culprit for not being able to open it. I have to say that I probably did that on purpose. In fact, I know I did that on purpose. I have this paranoia about running out of stuff. Maybe it's from trauma. I don't know. But I am paranoid about running out of stuff. When I worked at group homes, I quite literally stockpiled soap and like toilet paper, groceries, and I knew we had enough of everything to get through a month. I only was supposed to get enough to get through a week, but you don't know when the world is going to end. And I think at any time I convinced myself that it could happen. So I'm prepared. One day, somebody is going to thank me for my preparedness. Until then, everyone just thinks it's very inconvenient. Probably. It's not really hurting anyone. So, anyways, I stockpile paper towel? No. What do you call those things? Shoot. Serviettes is the fancy term, but I don't know why I don't like that. I just don't. So, maybe I'll come back to what they're called. Napkins. Ha! I got it! Napkins. I stockpile napkins. And there's more. There's way more in there. I have plastic spoons and forks. I have wet naps too. Straws. A few salt and pepper not shakers. Jeepers. Those are big. The little tiny packets. Salt and pepper. I had a ketchup package in there once. Never again will I do that because if you put too much stuff on top, it goes and it gets everything covered in ketchup. So I discontinued that with the sad thought that every time I give up a ketchup package, that there will be a day that I'm going to need it and I will not have it. And I will, in my brain, go back to the time that I threw it in the garbage or gave it back or something, and I'll be very mad at myself. That's how that goes, because I'm always prepared. And when I give something up, I will remember when I gave it up. So that's why my glove box is packed full of napkins. I do use them. In fact, one time, and I know for a fact this was 9 years ago because I am just over 9 years clean and sober, and this happened at the very beginning of my sobriety because, unfortunately, I abused my sponsor's ears. Probably your brain. But I went on strike from using toilet paper because it's expensive. Why is it that expensive? I mean, like, okay, there's probably reasons. But the only thing I could think of at the time is I am not spending $21 on a package of toilet paper so that some CEO of some toilet paper company can sit in his spa chair and get whatever done while I'm broke as heck because I'm spending money on something to wipe my butt. No! So I decided I am not going to buy toilet paper anymore, and I told my sponsor this, to which I think she probably said something along the lines of, acceptance is the key to happiness, or let my resentment go, or put it on a fourth step, or something. I don't know. She probably said something wise. Turn it over to God. I was not capable at the time. So, I definitely stockpiled way more napkins than I do now. Now I just acquire them and don't throw them out. But back then I intentionally went searching. So, I was drinking Tim Hortons coffee at the time. I no longer do. I'll tell you why, real quick. Don't let me forget. I'm going to forget where I was. Napkins, don't forget. I have the napkins on my chair. Hopefully it'll be the visual reminder as to what I was talking about. But anyways, now I forget what I was going. Oh my gosh, this sucks. You have ADHD, right? Yeah, it's a thing. I just lost it. We were talking about napkins. Oh, that's so frustrating, you know? Nope. This is one video I'm going to have to play over again. Yeah. Oh, might be back. Okay. Back in the day when I was 9 years sober. No, I'm 9 years now. Back in the day was in the beginning of my sobriety. And yes, okay. Why I don't drink Tim Hortons coffee anymore. That's what it was. The reason why is because I was maybe paranoid. I was not paranoid because now I know that I was right. But at the time, I was told that I was paranoid because Tim Hortons used to have this little card that when you bought a certain amount of coffees, each coffee cup had a little sticker on it, and then you'd put it on this thingy that came on the cup. It doesn't matter. But anyway, you collect enough of these stickers, you get free coffee, right? And I loved collecting those and giving them to homeless people because that was my thing. I just loved it. I felt like I was doing good for the world. And then they discontinued the copy, like the physical card thing, and I was very upset. And then they turned it into like a little plastic card that looks like a credit card. And I was like, okay, I can't give this away, which is fine. But so that was okay. And that didn't even last long until they made it mandatory that if you wanted to use that, and I don't know if they made it mandatory, but I'm pretty sure they did, or that's how my brain processed it, made it mandatory that if you want to redeem your free coffee, you have to get the app, the Tim Hortons app. And my brain said, if you are forcing somebody to do something like get an app, you're going to be using it for bad things like tracking us. So that was my thing. I was convinced that Tim Hortons was spying on me. So I stopped drinking Tim Hortons coffee altogether, completely. And I went to McDonald's. Like literally switched and have not gone back. And it's been a long time since they discontinued the little papery thingies that they had on their cups that you collected stamps with. Would be the last time that I drank Tim Hortons coffee. I have gone there for tea because McDonald's doesn't offer the same kinds of tea, and I'm over my resentment-ish. I just won't get their coffee. It gives me too much anxiety. I swear they put crack in the cup. I swear. They don't, because that would be like not smart. They'd be spending more money on making the dang cups than selling the actual coffee, so I know that's not their business thing, but like something's wrong. Gives me anxiety. Like makes me and I'm enough. I don't need more. And McDonald's coffee doesn't seem to do that. So now we know that my delusional thinking was in fact correct. Because Tim Hortons got caught for not exactly stalking people, but like figuring out where people kind of frequented, like where they were-ish. I don't know how the ins and outs. I can't say that I do, but I know that they were finding out people's personal informations for the purpose of advertising and finding out where people were so that you can put up their dang posters and stuff. And I didn't fall for their little tricks. The whole reason why I said all of that, and I remember, was because I used to go to Tim Hortons all the time and buy their coffee so that I could get their napkins. Like a bunch of them. So that I never had to pay for toilet paper again. That was my thought. However, when you're determined not to spend money on toilet paper, you end up buying a lot of coffee so that you can get the napkins. And it didn't really work out financially because when you drink coffee, it makes you pee a lot. And then I had to use the napkins that I got from getting the coffee, and it was a vicious cycle. So that didn't work out. So eventually I had to give it up. I had to follow my sponsor's advice and let go and let God. And like, it sounds like a small problem, but I was mad. I really was. I was determined not to ever buy toilet paper again because it was $21 for a dang package. I still think it's nuts. However, I'm a princess. Oh, my hat. I have a hat. I bought myself a hat because I am a princess. I mean, like, it's a secret. My friend who taught me how to ride a motorcycle, and she was my roommate one time, she nicknamed me Princess. She told me it was my road name. My motorcycle road name, you know, because apparently we're all supposed to get one. I ride a motorcycle. And, yeah, but it's just because, like, when I get hangry and stuff, I get really grumpy, and all you have to do is give me a little snack, and I'm fine. And I used to dress like a dude. I used to dress like a guy. And she one time figured out, like, Winter's dressing like that. It's because she's princessing it hardcore. So, she told me that, and then she just helped me with it, you know, just the snacks. And one time she ran me a bubble bath and took good care of me. It was great. So, that's how I got my nickname Princess. But I am a princess, and, you know, it's okay to use, like, napkins as toilet paper for, like, a week. But long term, it ain't comfy. So, I had to get over it. But I still collect them when I acquire them naturally for emergency purposes. And I do use them. Like, for example, I always communicate the fact that I am a queen of messes, and I am. Like, if the amount of times that something ends up in my cup holder, like my cup holder, like if I have a water bottle of some type, how this much water ends up in my cup holder is beyond me. It takes like an inch of napkins to get that out of there, by the way. So the napkins that I acquire naturally come in handy. And when I say naturally, I mean, like, I was at McDonald's because my friend had to go in there to get something at one point in time, and I sat at a table to wait. And there was like some, I don't know, probably this much. Probably not that much. In my brain, it was that much, but it probably like that much. There was that much napkins on the table. They're going to go in the garbage, man. And I don't like wasting things. I do not. It's like a thing. Probably because of my parents. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, it probably was, let's be honest. But still, I don't like wasting things. So I'll just fold them up and stick them in my pocket for a rainy day. And you can guarantee that the rainy day is going to happen. I have used those napkins religiously. However, I can't get my glove box open when there's that many in there. So I have to find another crevice of the truck to stick them in. I did think about, like, the sun visory thing for the passenger side, because I don't use that. But on occasion, I do have a passenger. My nephew. And getting quite a few neurodivergent people. I tend to like them more than I like normal people. In fact, I don't really like people. I mean, I do, don't get me wrong. But I struggle with their mannerisms and a few other things, to which we will not go there because then I just sound like I'm being rude, and I'm not. I just don't like things. So I have people in my truck. I don't know why I feel the need to elaborate on every single topic. But anyway, I was going to put them in my sun visory thingy, and then I was like, well, and this made me giggle because it would be funny. And then part of me was like, maybe you'll do it just because it'll be funny when it happens. But that's mean. I thought about sticking the napkins in the sun visory thingy, and then if by chance it was sunny out and someone decided to use it, then they'd have "It's raining napkins, hallelujah, it's raining napkins." Do you know how many random songs go through my head? Every time I hear a word that is in a song, that song goes through there. The amount of times I don't sing the songs that go through there. It's a beautiful place. Anyway, that's navigating the glove box number 2. If I find another place for those napkins, I did take them out. They're now on my seat, which they will not stay there because I do not like being unorganized, and anything other than the majority of the things like the water bottle and the battery being in my front seat drives me nuts. I do not like it. I like it to be clean in here. In fact, the amount of time that I spend cleaning this truck, I need a full-time cleaner. That is not me. And I would just sit here while they sit there, watching them wipe everything down. But then that would be creepy. So, yeah. That is it.